Hi! So one more video for tonight, and this one is what is a union, and this came to me from a conversation that I was having with somebody today about, she said, oh, the issues that we've got is that I don't feel that I'm kind of, I can't remember the words, but to do with being validated in a relationship experience. Like, it was about feeling like you weren't fully appreciated in that, and it just made me realise it just like compounded stuff for me to make a video, and it's to do with like a union. So a relationship is when you need something from somebody else. This came to me really clearly. It's like you need someone else's validation to make you feel accepted, or like you basically need someone else to make you feel whole, because you do not make yourself feel whole. So for example, I have an issue with rejection, so I basically need relationships and relating experiences, and I base everything on their either acceptance or rejection of me. So I allow them to make the decision about whether I'm going to be feeling rejected or accepted. Whereas actually, if I'm whole within myself and I'm healed, you know, it's me that's actually rejecting myself, because nobody can reject you. If you don't reject yourself, no one can reject you. They can say, oh, I'm not interested, and then you could be like, well, that wasn't for me. But that's not a rejection, that's not my path. So, you know, I'm moving on to another one. It only becomes a rejection when you make that, no, this isn't for me, about you, and you make it personal, and you make it like, you make it into a rejection because you're rejecting yourself, because you're like, oh, I don't feel good enough now, that person said they don't want me, or that job doesn't want me. So that means that I'm actually not good enough for this job and I'm rejected. That's because you've rejected yourself. Somebody that didn't reject themselves would be like, oh, well, that wasn't for me, like, next. Because they don't reject themselves. And it's the same for all this stuff, like feeling validated, feeling attractive enough. And, you know, a lot of relating experiences are kept glued together by this need to get from another person what you can't get from yourself. So say you don't feel attractive enough, and this is something that I've had a very, very strong connection, one of these very strong emotional connections that I, at the time, did think was potentially my twin flame. And I never felt attractive enough for this person. It's like I based all of my attractiveness around him and whether he wanted to be. The thing is, I didn't even overlook the fact that, you know, this person had so many intimacy issues. It went way beyond physical attraction anyway. It's like there was so many issues going on there that it probably had very little to do with my physical appearance. But of course, because that was my wound, I made it all about my physical appearance, and it's almost like I became so obsessed with wanting that person to make me feel attractive because I couldn't feel attractive within myself. And as soon as I healed that, then I was able to let that situation go, and I was able to attract in a much nicer experience of somebody that totally kind of, you know, made me feel amazing in that department, like made me feel like beautiful, and it didn't trigger those same things because I'd already healed that with the connection before it. So I think a lot of these, who ends up, you know, I always say this, who ends up being there when you've pulled down all these veils? Like, I stay open-minded to that now. I've had more than one extremely strong connection that I felt was my twin flame, and I know that they're taking me on the journey to inner wholeness. It doesn't matter. If they turn out to be it, then, you know, so be it. And if it's not, then so be it too. But it doesn't matter, because if there's a really strong connection to somebody, then it's showing you something about yourself that you're still trying to get from another person. You're trying to validate yourself from somebody else. You're placing all your worth on how this strong connection treats you. And we tend to be drawn into these experiences over and over again until we can realise, hey, do you know what, this is something that I actually have to find within myself. Like, I can't go around only feeling beautiful if this person is physically attracted to me, or I can't go around only feeling like I'm validated if this person validates me, or I can only feel accepted if this person accepts me and stops rejecting me. And that pull and that obsession comes from that need to fulfill that caving wound. But that's where we have to stop and say, do you know what? I need to feel this myself. And once you feel it yourself, a very different connection will show up. So it's why sometimes the behaviour doesn't look exact. And you'd be like, this isn't my mirror because they're treating me like this, and they're not at all respecting me, and I don't understand why they're not respecting me because I respect them. Well, that's part of the problem, is you're respecting them and probably over giving to them in order to get self-respect, but you're never going to get self-respect through trying to get self-respect of someone who's not respecting you. You're going to get respect from respecting yourself, then putting that energy out there into the universe, and then someone will come in who will respect you. So I thought this video was really important, and we've all done something in this category, no doubt. I hadn't done the thing that I was speaking to Scarl about, but I had done the rejection, I've done the appearance thing, and it feels very real. It's like you literally base everything on that person's validation of you. And it's why social media is blown up, and Instagram, because everybody just wants validation. So it's like, look at my naked body, look at my boobs, look at me going to the gym, and my boobs are out in my sports top because I need to be validated, and look at this that I've got, or this that I've got. And it's not that it's wrong, it's just everybody trying to seek validation from external sources. And as soon as you no longer need that and you take the validation from within, is when things can really start to shift. And I've been doing it in layers. So I've been doing it maybe with one thing, and then I've had to then realise that I'm still doing it in other areas. So it's been like bits and bits and bits, but everything has to just be found within. And it's okay if you don't have it within, because who does, especially if they've had certain things imprinted on them growing up, like, it's just not normal to be able to find that stuff within. And that's the whole journey and the whole lesson and the whole part of this awakening and this twin flame journey. It's finding everything within. It's having your inner union, because you can't have a union when things are conditional. A union is unconditional love. And unconditional love means that you don't need something from another person. You are a whole, complete person, or at least close to or working towards that, meeting with another like-minded person, because then everything you do is unconditional, and it's not being done to fill yourself up or make yourself whole. So, for example, if you do something for somebody, it's done because from an unconditional place of just genuinely wanting to do something for that other person. Whereas if you're actually subconsciously doing something for somebody because you want to be, I'm trying to think of the right word, and it's something that a lot of females tend to do, like feminine energy, sorry, but a lot of women tend to overgive in the hope that that will create something getting back. They'll get more attention from the man if they overgive to them, but really they're just like overgiving out of wanting something, out of needing something, out of needing that validation and that respect, XYZ. So it's just a very unconditional love, and that's what's really a relationship. And to move into a union, everything has to be unconditional, and you can only really unconditionally do stuff when you unconditionally love yourself, and you're not needing to fill a void from outside. And this is where you have to be really honest with yourself, because I probably years ago would have said, oh, but this, you have to be really honest. And that's why these very strong connections with people that feel very kind of twin flame-like are here, is to show you the ways that you're not giving, you don't love yourself. And by going through them and by taking the lessons and by loving yourself is when you can move forwards, and you can then go into a union. So, I've had loads of these things strike off. I've had rejection, self-appearance, other things too, but they've been my main biggies. And also, fear of vulnerability, expression, lots of things. But the things that I've been needing in other people that I haven't been able to supply myself is definitely, I've hung a lot of my looks and self-worth and being rejected on other people, and I've literally allowed other people the right to walk around and dictate my worth. And that is just so the wrong way around, because it's me that dictates my worth from the inside, you know. And it's not the case of like, oh my God, I'm the most beautiful person in the world. It's like, it's just that I'm perfect as I am, and the right soul will see that. And I can't only reject myself, because if I'm not rejecting myself, then the person that rejects me will just be the wrong door for me. I won't even lose sleep over it. And I'm definitely getting a lot more like that now. But I wasn't like that before. It would be such a horrendous fear for me that I might be rejected, because then my whole kind of worth would crumble, you know. So anyway, I just feel all these videos coming to me tonight, so I'm having a bit of a mass post. So, like, hopefully they're informative, and yeah, speak soon.